Welcome to Toffee TV. It's the Everton News Daily. It's the 1st of March 2018, St David's Day. So happy St David's Day to all our Welsh viewers. Big news today, Stephen Pienaar has retired from football. Obviously Stephen Pienaar played for Everton from 2007 to 2016 with a little break in between for a year when he went to Spurs between 2011 and 2012. One of my favourite players over the last 20 odd years, I would say. When people say they love Mikel Arteta, I love Stephen Pienaar. I thought he was an absolutely magnificent player, and him and Leighton Baines on that left hand side, couldn't even dream of having that now. What a player, and what a partnership those two players struck up between them. They created so many goals, whether it was Baines who got the final assist or Pienaar who got the final assist. They were telepathic in their ability to find each other with the quick passes and behind the back passes and all kinds. It was just an absolute phenomenal partnership. Stephen Pienaar, he made 189 appearances, only scoring 20 goals. I think that was the part that let him down. I think the amount of goals, but the goals he did score, some absolutely brilliant goals. Initially brought in on loan from Borussia Dortmund, signed permanently then for £2 million. Obviously left to Spurs when I think he didn't feel like he was getting a contract worthy of what he was doing at the club, and then came back the following January, then signed permanently for £4.5 million. It wasn't as good in the second stint. Injuries caused him a few problems later on. He finally left in 2016 when he went to Sunderland after his contract ended. But just the football him and Baines played between themselves was absolutely fantastic. And I think a lot of us took it for granted at the time, but it's hard to look back without fond memories of just the way we played and how dynamic and how attacking we were in those days, and what a good team we had and played good football. So yeah, Stephen Pienaar retires. Hopefully there could be a role for him with the club in the future. I don't know, ambassador in South Africa for Everton, helping to get young fans or to be Evertonians. Do some Everton soccer schools down there. I don't know, something like that. I think that would work really, really well if Everton could do that, if Everton could sort that out. He's obviously a big name in South Africa, probably their best player in the last 10 years or so, 15 years or so. So maybe that's what Everton should look into. I don't know. Hopefully they will. Hopefully they will. We've been linked with Johnny Evans today, who, if West Brom were to be relegated, will be available for a cut price £3 million. Now I'm sure a lot of teams in the Premier League will be looking at him. Arsenal were sniffing around him, Man City sniffing around him, but we've been linked in today. Could he be the centre back that we need, that commanding player at the back? Spent a few good years at Manchester United and was almost written off as one of those players that when leaves Man United, people feel like, oh, they'll just drift away, sort of like he'd gone to Sunderland. But to be fair, Johnny Evans has been quite good at West Brom, although if he does get relegated, he'll have been part of a defence, a poor defence that will go down. But definitely worth £3 million, I would have thought anyway. But if Everton going for him, I'm sure there'll be a lot of teams going for him as well. The game against Burnley on Saturday could be in jeopardy. Obviously the whole of the UK is in the grip of one of the coldest spells it's had for a long time, bringing a lot of ice and a lot of snow, and that has been contingency plans put in place for the game. Obviously where Burnley is, it's quite rural area, and I suppose it'll just be about whether, well, what happens in the next 24 hours and whether it is safe to get fans there. I think that'd be the main thing. I'm sure with the likes of the pitch and stuff, that'll be fine. I'm sure it's to do with more the safety of people getting to the ground. I'm sure we'll know more in the next 48 hours, 36 hours, whether the game will go on. I'm 90% sure it will go on, but at the moment they're just putting all the plans in place to to deal with the situation. I'm sure there's a lot of Blues out there that would rather the game didn't go on and we didn't have, maybe our next home game was the next game was at the home game next week to Brighton. I think a lot of fans would probably feel like they'd rather just wait for that one than play Burnley and the possibility of another away game. They've got a few players coming back as well, the likes of Woods coming back. There's a few injured players coming back for Burnley as well, so we'll wait and see. Mori has been called up to the Argentina squad. Hasn't played a competitive Everton game this season, is coming back from injury, and has been called up for the Argentina squad to face Italy and Spain in friendlies. To be honest, I think this is actually a good thing. I think for him to go away, maybe get a little bit of game time, or just certainly train with the Argentina team so they know what he's like before, you know, the World Cup. Obviously the countdown to the World Cup, they're not going to have too many games before that. They've got to kind of get the squad sorted. I think it's a good chance for him to go and maybe play, I don't know, 15 minutes in one game and maybe half an hour in another game, whatever it is, a little bit more game time. I doubt he'll play for Everton before the international break, so it could benefit Everton if he goes away, plays a bit of game time, maybe come back a little bit fresh and be a little bit more match fit, and be raring to go for Everton after the international break, which takes place in about 3 weeks' time, I think it is. We've got Burnley, Brighton and Stoke, and then it's the international weekend. On injuries again, James McCarthy. Sam Allardyce has said that he should be back for pre-season training, or they hope he's back for pre-season training. He's going to start training at the club again in the next few days, so probably next week. Start getting his program going, getting some flexibility at first into that leg, and then, you know, obviously the training on the rest of the body and building that leg up, just like Seamus Coleman had to do. And they hope he can be back pre-season. Obviously, if he's back pre-season, it'll be easier for him to be back with the other players, do the training that the rest of the team are doing, and then maybe slowly build into games towards the end of pre-season. He might not be back till October time, or maybe even later than that, but at least if he's in pre-season and he's doing other stuff with other players, then it probably won't be as bad for him as it would be for someone like Seamus Coleman, who has had to do a lot of that training on his own. So that's good news, you know, and the sooner he's back, the better. That's it. That's all the Everton news today. Tomorrow we'll get Sam Allardyce's press conference ahead of the game with Burnley. We'll hear his thoughts, possibly about the rumours about him this week, and the prospect of playing another away games, and will he change it up. So we'll let you know all about that tomorrow on the Everton News Daily. We'll see you later.